line. It's a really useful movement to do because it stops the quarters curling in. Halt, salute, move off. I have to say that where these halts have been on this centre line have varied slightly. L and I have moved a little on occasions. Very, very nearly throws the left front a bit more than the right. Now, I've got a horse that does that, and it's got nothing to do with whether they've got a sore place in a leg. It's just they just balance onto the rein aids a bit stronger one side. I mean, it was 1/4 centimetre, but to my eye, I could just see it.
And how do you, can you stop that? Can you make it less obvious?
You try a long whip in one hand, a long whip in the other, a jumping whip on a shoulder.
Yeah.
You hold a contact more and you keep experimenting, don't you?
To see what works.
Yeah, and I found that...
I presume that none of them, as none of them are the same, and one trick might work for one and not the other.
Absolutely. You're coming to give me a dressage lesson on your first available spot. The lady's very impressed. But you're quite right. That's why they're horses. That's why we're all in this sport. They're all so different. When I got told by some stickler a couple of months ago, oh, but the aids are, I said, so you take 5 dogs for a walk? Do they all react the same?
Yeah.
Right, we've got workmanlike here, springing to mind. We've got the right sort of outline, a little bit of overbalancing here and there. If you look carefully at the horse, conformationally, he's a little bit short of muscle in front of the wither, which over the trapezium, and when he gets a little bit more muscle there, then he might be able to be a little bit more in self-carriage. He's relying on being quite well ridden. He's just relying a little bit on the rider's hands. It's a motorcycle.
Yeah, I think that you can see that with him. He's still quite young, and I think first 5-star Antonia and Millie Kay own this sort of being long time supporters with Gin and well, Ginny, not with Gin.
Careful, Spencer. You've obviously got on your mind the first drink of tonight.
And Ginny's such a good rider, so talented. I think she did 4 there.
Yes,
but then we don't know what he's like, and that may be one of those damage limitation things that they tell us sometimes. 4, that's enough, and you go on. Rather than risk it for a biscuit, go for 1 extra stride and it all fall apart.
Absolutely, and I think the trouble for me started in the halt. In that it would have been just quite nice if he just stayed forward to that halt and stood like a statue. But he took the beginnings of the rein back. But that's good too, because you don't want to kill a horse stone dead from trying for you.
No, absolutely.
And if it just gets there a bit ahead, you just sort of pretend that you meant that anyway.
Yes, because it's so easy with these horses. Oh, just kicked out a little bit. So easy with these horses just to knock their confidence for being, either exuberant or a little bit like he was down the bottom. Reluctant to go forwards, and you've got to keep them on side. They've got to be your friends, and you really want them. The feeling that you want in your hand and in your body when you're riding is they feel like they're smiling.
Yes, and trying. You never knock that out of them.
No.
And we are all human, and they are horses. And to cement that partnership, that's good. She's leaning in a little. You can just see the drop left shoulder, but the stretching's all right.
Yeah.
Gather your reins up, ride a corner. Nearly. Yeah, good boy. Good.
Okay.
I said this once yesterday. with just one horse. He's now ready to go through his test again.
Yes. Yeah.
He's now settled a bit more. That's quite interesting. You might keep this horse really moving before it goes in. Boy, again, he took the walk forward.
Yeah, but a good test
Good halt.
for him. 10 years old, wouldn't be as experienced as a number of these horses. I think we've got 3 9-year-olds, and but he's got all the attributes, hasn't he? It just has to all come together now, and it will be fun. And like you said at the end of that test, he really did look like he was maturing and growing up.
Yes, and that's often, you know, you come out of the arena and you go, oh, damn, he's ready now.
Yeah.
Just caught his lead a little bit off that corner. It's just ironing out the little things to make the whole overall picture flow together a bit more. Yeah, you see, he didn't quite listen to her on that.
I think she did get 5. She may have got 5 there. Yeah.
Well done. But again, the outline, a little bit of loss of the outline, but a lovely flying change. I've argued with Carl for years. They can do a flying change out of anything. He said, no, it has to be a good quality canter, Spamalina.
Well, there is the score. 37.5 for Ginny Howe and trendy Captain Clover into 35th place. 2 left to go. And we go to our penultimate combination on the final day of dressage. And we go back to the United States of America. It's Boyd Martin, and Boyd rides sets a leg for the USA. And it's great that we've had so many riders from the USA. And Boyd, one of the most experienced of the fields, and Sets a Leg is a really experienced horse now. They've been together for a good number of seasons, and this beautiful black horse.
This is lovely.
I watched them in the States. He rides a number of different horses, but he rode at both London 2012 Olympic Games and Rio 2016 Olympic Games. And this horse now is 13 years old, and they just improve.
Well, so he was listed for the team this year, had it happened.
Yep.
I know America had quite a long list, didn't they? I mean, it's quite heavily weighted.
This is good.
Yeah, very good. 3-track shoulder in. Very well shown to us. White gloves. Opened up, showed us extended trot. And a transition. He shortened his reins. He's presented his hands. Okay, so now here's an interesting one you can answer. Why is this not going to topple Laura yet? It might show us the most expressive canter work we've ever seen.
Why is it not going to? How do we know it's not going to at the moment? Do you think it has...
I love the way when I throw you a question, you beautifully throw it back.
Yes, of course. Been doing this for years.
Well, now here we come. Okay, so we may be about to see a better walk and canter, because the walk and the canter are so often linked. But for me, the trot just wasn't quite as loose and as athletic.
For me, this horse doesn't have the uphillness that London 52 had.
And the muscle in front of the wither shows that a little bit. There you are. So we do agree. So you didn't have to chuck that back. Oh, good. Good marching walk. Good halts. Outline changed a little.
Oh.
Moved a front leg. Thought about going forward. I might not have just schooled that as much. It's going to now. Yeah, I might just think that right hip of the horses in a little bit. And I could have gone for longer, shown a crisper transition, sat a little more at the end, wake the canter up, left hind. Yeah, that was a little, it was correct. Snatchy is what I'd say as a trainer, but I'm not quite sure what they say as a judge. Little hurried. So I'd want more left bend, tighten the quarters a little. Hands a tiny little bit more forward and allowing good clean change. Note to self, do not put white Pammy ever on the back of your coat because you have to sit so straight. Which I can't do any longer. Quarters trailing, even from this angle, I think a little bit. Yeah, there's a little bit of tension in the flying change. Spencer, did you nod off?
Yeah, no, I was just watching that flying change and just replaying it. For me, the leg just jumped out of his hand, jumped a little bit forward in it.
Are you replaying?
No, I'm replaying it in my mind.
Ah, God, I thought you had two computers going.
No.
Yeah.
No.
In which case, two from the end, I would have called you cheating.
No.
And you've got more technology than I have.
I really don't.
Good.
I like this.
That was the best change.
Yeah, he rode that well, didn't he?
Yeah, that was the best change that this horse has done. Just overall, a little bit more softness. I mean, it's going to get a good mark. He preempted the halt there. The horse did.
Yeah.
That's such an annoying thing when they do that on that last centre line. It's make no mistake, this is into the top 10. It's just where.
Okay. Boyd's an interesting one because he used to represent Australia and now moved and lives in America, represents America now. And he's such a nice guy. He's so talented and he has some beautiful horses at his barn. I'm going to use the word barn because that's what they call them in America. And he is forming, and it's great to see these horses because we wouldn't see these horses. That's the thing, Pammy.
Yeah, we're really lucky.
If we hadn't had this virtual eventing, we wouldn't see these horses for the best part of a year.
So I suppose as a commentator, you're going to say, anybody who's thinking, so that I can get the inside stories, anybody who's thinking of going to Tokyo next year, can you send me a home video?
No, I'm just no, I'm just thinking we're so lucky to see these horses competing, even if it is just in the dressage for the first 2 days here.
I think it's wonderful. It's a privilege. And we're very lucky.
I think we're going to see more of it. I really hope we do, because we're privileged and we're honoured that we've had so many top-class riders. Not quite.
Yeah, but I mentioned something yesterday that I think you thought was something else. The FEI have at the moment.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, 27.3 goes into 5th place. Boyd Martin for the USA with Tetzeleg. So that changes the leaderboard because it has only changed twice today. It remained the same for a very long time until we saw Laura Collett's London 52 and until we saw then Boyd Martin. Well, the last to go on the second day, final day of dressage here at the NAF Virtual 5-Star Eventing Competition based in Gloucestershire. A guy that you know very well, it's Tom Rowland, and Tom rides very good tempo.
My next door neighbour, 500 metres away. I asked him how much he could possibly pay me to say nice things. And I haven't cheated. We haven't watched this. I haven't said, no, you can't send that one in.
And you help him, Pammy, on the flat. This is owned by Amy Watkins and first 5-star, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And yes, I do. He's got white gloves on. That's a miracle. Anyway, I am just going to say this. At the moment, the big discussion is competitions held online.
Yes.
And that's mainly, and it's been banned by the FEI for the moment. And I completely understand that because, you know, how many times can you run a movement? How clever is your technology? Where can you splice something in?
Yeah.
And what can you do in between that might not be quite right,
Cool.
just or fair? Right, you're going to commentate on this. I'm going to
Well, I was
watch.
just going to say that was a really nice start. A beautiful yard. A really nice start to the shoulder in. Just had a little wobble, but that probably is just a tiny bit of an experience on this horse's part because Tom started it well. He had his knee on the center line and between the horse's hind legs, and it looked very good, very promising. Let's see what he does this way. You've gone quiet.
Well, I've gone quiet because, yeah. I have always suffered from, I have to go and hide behind a chair or something. I get very, very nervous when I'm watching somebody that I know.
Yeah.
When my daughter was at the Europeans, all she ever heard me say was a 4-lettered word midway through her test. And she sort of thought, her leg's fallen off. I'm in the wrong place. I've done the wrong movement. And she was just 2 bars behind her freestyle. And it was at a Europeans, and all she hears is her mother swearing. So yes, I get very nervous because, you know, you want the best from anybody that you ever help. You even got a bit excitable earlier with a horse that you knew.
I did. So just watching the extended walk, you can see that Tom's riding him very tactfully. The extension could have done possibly with a little bit more purpose, like he was just trying to catch that bus. And now the walk is nice and relaxed, and it looks like he can't do too much with it. Is he a little bit of a sensitive number?
Very.
Yeah.
In fact, oh Thomas, please, you got a mirror, thank you. It can lose the plot.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't imagine so far that it would go as far as, you know, and he's a sensitive horse. He tries, and then he can just get, well, it's as if he's got a bee down his ear.
Yeah.
And unless
I think you could see that the way Tom rode the walk. He rode it very tactfully and very cautiously, but without, because sometimes, as you know, with these horses, if you suddenly feel like you're sat on a hot tin roof, they're like, I've got you, and then you're back in again. And
that's what this horse did there. Flying changes are relatively new to him. And Tom just took it early. But Thomas, right leg, he heard me. But now it's just getting them to wait when they're new to this and then do a correct change. I'll scream. Yes, bingo.
Good, yeah.
Good. That was lucky. Good, because I am known as one of the ruder trainers in Gloucestershire.
No.
You'd heard my reputation. Left leg, left leg, left leg. Sit, wait. You're good.
Yeah.
Miracle. But it's a nice horse for the future. Good boy. I asked him how. He wouldn't tell me a single dicky bird.
Would he not?
No, we all send each other messages within a second, don't we, these days?
Yeah.
Good. Stretch, nose out. I think that sort of still shows that this is a work in progress a little bit, because I would say that was quite well ridden, but there wasn't a lot of contact. Then you just want the feeling that it's taking the rein forward out of the hands, don't you?
Yes.
Don't you dare, don't you dare. Good boy.
4 good changes.
Yeah.
And we say that like we're surprised, but the changes are very big marks.
I'm surprised. I'm amazed.
That's all your training paying off.
And a bit of luck.
And a bit of luck. Everyone needs a bit of luck.
And well done, Thomas.
Very, very well done. So Tom Rowland and Amy Watkins, very good tempo. First 5-star together. So Pammy, what mark do you think that
I have no idea.
Get
I'm
with
not
this
doing
young
this.
one?
I won't play.
You won't do it.
No, I won't play. Because when you train somebody, you always want a slightly better mark.
Yeah.
And then you can be attacked in the collecting ring by the owners as to why it wasn't a better mark. So at the same time, you've got to kind of, you know, gather your wits as to how much better the shoulder in has to be. And this drop one day up and off the floor a little bit more with a bit more cadence. So, you know, you can pick holes. I know that we've been working at the halts, being still, and the rein backs.
This was that first shoulder in. And it started really well. You had the 3 tricks, then that wobble there.
Yes.
And that was just a little bit of greenness, wasn't it?
I think so. And he's actually quite a big horse. Tom's quite, and you see that the horse got in front of him there. But I also know that you can't say no, or toys really can go out of this horse's pram. And I think when I feel very honored when we've been commentating for 2 days steadily with Olympians and their lovely horses and a few wild cards. We don't know the feel of the horses.
No, absolutely not. Well, just coming down to that final halt, and the mark then will be for our final rider in the NAF Virtual 5-Star Eventing Competition will be on your screen, and there it is, 35.1, and that puts Tom into 25th place. So about midfield, Pammy, for Tom.
But well, I'm hoping you'll say the right thing here. Correctable down to the 30 when we get this absolutely correct.
Very, very much so, yes. Well, that leaderboard then, after 2 days of dressage, Laura Collett for Great Britain leads with London 52 on 24.9. Second for Great Britain also, Yasmin Ingham, Sandman 7, 26.3. And it's a Great Britain 1, 2, 3 for the girls. Gemma Tattersall in third with Quick Look the fifth on 26.4. Fourth, Vittoria Panizon for Italy. Checkers play the game, 26.9. And we have in this top 10, 8 riders sub 30. Boyd Martin, 5th. Sam Griffiths for Australia, 6th. Holly Woodhead for Great Britain, 7th. Thomas Carlyle and Bermain in 8th for France. Louisa Lockwood, 9th. And Hannah Sue Burnett for the United States in 10th place.
You obviously did a few things right, Laura, because you are the overall dressage leader on London 52 with a score of 24.9.
I'll take that. Yeah, wow. Like, obviously, I know he's very capable of getting a good score for his first go at 5-star competition. Might only be virtual, but yeah, hopefully when we get to do the real thing, we'll knock a few marks off and be leading a 5-star next year would be fantastic, definitely.
Well, well done to Laura. A beautifully ridden test on a wonderful horse, London 52. We're so lucky to have such a high quality of horse and rider in this NAF Virtual 5-Star Eventing Competition. And with that in mind, on behalf of the organisers, I'd really like to thank all the judges, the commentators, Spencer, Pammy and Holly later, and all the riders and the owners, because without the owners they wouldn't have allowed the horses to take part and we wouldn't have had such wonderful horses in this competition. So thank you to the owners and thank you to everyone who's really thrown themselves into the spirit of this competition, because it's all for such a good cause. Of course, the NHS and medical services all over the world. And with that in mind, at nearly 3:30 BST live, I can tell you the total amount of money raised so far is £120,000. Well done to everyone for trying so hard to raise so much money, but obviously there are 2 more days to go, so let's hope we can push that up even further. If you want to donate, you can via the website virtualeventing.com, where there is also a silent auction with some of the best prizes I've ever seen in the silent auction. I've already been outbid a couple of times, so as soon as I'm off air here, I'm going to go back and try and win a couple of those other prizes again, because it really is fantastic. There's also virtual shopping as well, so if you can, give generously. So that is the end then of the dressage phase of this NAF Virtual 5-Star Eventing Competition. So of course we have the cross country and the show jumping to come. It is of course though not cross country like you are used to seeing. There are no horses, there's no jumping. This is about rider and hound, and it is a lot of fun. It all gets going tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock British summertime. Spencer Sturmey and Holly Farr will be doing the commentary for you. It's a lot of fun. Do tune in if you can. But from me, Lizzie Greenwood-Hughes, and the team here at Virtual Eventing, thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Hello and welcome to my home.
We may not be in the office at the moment,
but we are still here to help.
Insure with SCIB.
Car breaks down.
Or even your business premises floods.
we're still here to help you.
And so am I.
Difficult times are ahead.
But please don't add to them
By ignoring your insurance and letting it lapse.
If you